sitting around after a good meal in my whole rocking chair. The fire's burning, the old dog is sleeping, and the sounds of Wild Willie's YouTube are on the air. It's time to light up that old corncob pipe and enjoy the simple things in life. The bowl is lit and my thoughts take flight, getting caught up in that aromatic delight.
Hey guys, Willie here. Thank God it's Friday. And it makes a difference in my world. I gotta work tomorrow anyways, but just a quick little chat about Canadian tobacco. And we'll just get into it. So, I never even thought much of Canadian tobacco when I was younger. An hour and a half roughly away from my house is the tobacco belt of Ontario, maybe even Canada. Pictures are up there when we're starting up there. There's a place called Delhi, Ontario. It's not too far from here. And I don't know the exact history. There's a museum there, Tobacco History Museum. So I'm going to take a pilgrimage there. And it's funny because I never even thought when I started re-smoking this pipe, the pipe thing, when I started smoking again, I never even thought about Canadian tobacco. It just kind of went to the back of my mind. And it's funny because when I was a kid driving through that area, all the time we'd go out there for different day trips and stuff, you would see the kiln houses all over the place, tobacco fields all over the place. Now it's heavily regulated, and now I'm going to guess most of the crops out there, because of the sandy soil, is probably either maybe soybean or peanuts or tomatoes. When I was younger, believe it or not, I had a chance to go work on a tobacco farm, and it did not end well for me. One, it's back-breaking work. You're bending over and you're picking the leaves from the bottom, and two, you have to wear this special, I don't know what they are, like a leather chap or hide or something, because the tar gets on you and you get tobacco poisoning. You get sick when it seeps into your body. And I was deathly sick, and I called and said, I'm coming home. I don't want to do this anymore. I was just young, maybe 15, 14. But anyways, the other day I was deciding, you know what? I really want to know about the Canadian tobacco industry and what's left of it. And it's funny, I decided hemmed and hawed about going there. And then the other day when I was watching Cornell and Deal's speech on the new release Sun Bear, Navy cask, their Virginians are all Canadian in there. They come from Ontario. And a lot of the other tobacco industry, I was surprised how much of the tobacco industry, U.S. tobacco industry and makers still use Canadian product. A good chunk of them, and that's pretty cool and pretty impressive. So that being said, in a couple weeks I'm going to take a pilgrimage out to Delhi. They have a huge tobacco museum there. The whole town's kind of tobacco themed. That's kind of the heart of the tobacco belt. But what I thought was really cool and I wanted to share with you, I learned something. In the business I'm in, I'm quite privileged to come across tobacco paraphernalia, tobacco tins, pipes like galore. And one of the things I came across and got my hands on was a picture, or a painting rather, a print of a young lady named Irene Anderson. Irene Anderson's family, she grew up in the tobacco belt in Delhi area, and her family were tobacco growers obviously, but she became an artist. So I would like to read this, if I can, this little inscription that goes along with this this painting I got here, this little print I got, just because I think it's really cool and very interesting, and I can kind of relate to it because I did work there at a little bit of time. I helped get the prime going and everything else. So I'm going to read it for you. Just let me. Das gut. Excuse me. So this is a poem, a little blurb that goes along with this picture. I'll show you in a minute. It's called September Rain. In their long black coats, the field gang primed, snapping off left and right. Lightning flashed and thunderbolts crashed, and the horse reared up in fright. One primer quickly grabbed the reins while the rest of the crew looked on. A groundhog peeked up through the grass, watching all the fun. Then back to work the primers went. They did their very best. The kiln got filled spite the rain, and the frost took all the rest. Tobacco in the Old Days, circa 1940, Irene Anderson. So this was on the back of the print, but this is it's a really cool picture. I don't know how well it's going to show up. It's her rendition of the guys priming tobacco in the old days, getting it ready to hang in the kiln. So really cool. This driving me even more to get out there and see and learn about the tobacco industry in Canada. Because if it's anything like I remember, even if it's shrunk, you can still drive. You're driving down the road out there in that area, and you're seeing fields of tobacco, people picking it. It's very interesting, very exciting. I'm looking forward to the museum. I might even try to do a live feed there if I can. If not, for sure I'm going to do some videos. I'm hoping there's maybe a place out there outside their Indian reservations that I can buy some tobacco products. But anyways, stay tuned for that adventure. I just wanted to share a little bit like the unknown history of the Canadian tobacco industry, and hopefully I can share a lot more with you going forward. Anyways, guys, I'm Wild Willie, and it's not a question if the shit's gonna hit the fan, it's a question of when. So always be prepared, and remember to take time to smoke a good pipe.